Hello friends, welcome back to Aliya Gupta. So today's topic is biomass energy. और वर्ड बड़ा है जिसे हमेशा की तरह ब्रेक कर लेते हैं बायोमास में और एनर्जी में. अब एनर्जी क्या होती है? We don't know what is energy. We just know what energy can do. Energy can do work. If something has energy, then it has a special capability to do work. Now let's talk about biomass. What is biomass? Animal and plant products. Like we can say that it is the waste material from living organisms or the decomposed material from dead organisms. So there are some examples of biomass, like there is wood, cow dung cakes, agricultural wastes, crop residue, etc. So, what is biomass energy? It is the energy which we obtain from biomass. And what is biomass? Animal and plant products. Now, animal and plant products, that is biomass. Biomass has energy. What energy does it have? Chemical potential energy. Why? Because it is made up of carbon and its compounds, and that means that there are lot of molecules. That is, there is lot of bonding, and if there are bonds, then chemical potential energy is stored in the bonds. So biomass has chemical potential energy. Now, this biomass can also be used as a fuel. These fuels are called biofuels. Biomass is a renewable source of energy. That is energy which we obtain from biomass. That is biomass energy. It is also a renewable form of energy. How is it renewable? Because biomass is animal and plant products, and biomass energy is the energy which we obtain from animal and plant products. Animal and plants grow continuously, so we can get biomass energy on a consistent basis. Now, biomass energy is a form of solar energy. How? Biomass energy is the energy which we contain from biomass, and biomass is animal and plant products. Animal and plants both come in living matter, and all the living matter requires sunlight to grow. Now, sunlight comes from the sun, and another name of sun is soul. So energy from the sun is solar energy. This solar energy is stored in the animal and plants in the form of chemical potential energy. So biomass energy is a form of solar energy. So now let's talk about some of the biofuels. Our first biofuel is wood. So first let's talk about wood. Wood. What happens in wood? We burn wood. When we burn it, it produces heat. But with heat, it produces a lot of smoke. And we know that wood has a low calorific value. So wood is not a very efficient fuel. So if you want a better fuel, then we can also use charcoal. This also we obtain from wood only. When we burn wood in limited supply of air, that is oxygen, so all the water and other volatile substances remove, and what is left? A black substance. That black substance is the charcoal. Charcoal, when burnt, it produces less pollution and it has a high calorific value. So it's a better fuel as compared to wood. I'm using the word calorific value continuously. What is calorific value? Calorific value is when we burn 1 gram of the substance, and how much heat does it produce. If it produces more heat, then it has more calorific value, and if it produces less heat, then it has less calorific value. Now let's talk about another biofuel, that is cow dung cakes. Cow dung cakes are also called gobar. What is cow dung cakes or gobar? It is the excreta of cattle. What is a cattle? Cow, buffalo, these all come in cattle. So in villages, till late also cow dung cakes are used. First they are dried and then they are burnt. When they are burnt, they produce heat. Heat is produced, but they produce lot of smoke. It has low calorific value. It produces ash as a residue, and also when we burn the cow dung cake, so it is the excreta of cattle. So in the excreta there are elements like nitrogen and phosphorus. Nitrogen and phosphorus, which when we burn the cow dung cakes, they are lost. How they are useful to us? Because they act as nutrients for the soil and they increase the fertility of the soil. So when we burn cow dung cakes, there are so many limitations that it produces more smoke, it has low calorific value, it produces lot of ash as a residue, it has elements like nitrogen and phosphorus. So when we burn the cow dung cakes, they are lost. So to overcome all these limitations, rather than burning the cow dung cakes, we can make a biogas plant. What we can make? Biogas plant. But in the biogas plant, we will use cow dung cakes as the starting material. And the cow dung cakes which are not used, or after using they are left, so they can be used as a manure because the nitrogen and phosphorus is still remained in them, and we can use them to increase the fertility of the soil. So this is the solution for the cow dung cake. So we saw that in place of wood we can use charcoal, and in place of cow dung cakes we can use biogas plant. Biogas plant is also called gobar gas plant because cow dung cakes are also called gobar. So the biogas produced is a clean fuel. It has high calorific value. It leaves no residue, and the elements, that is nitrogen and phosphorus, that remain in the cow dung cakes which are not used, can be used to make the soil fertile. So this topic looks very interesting, the biogas plant or the gobar gas plant. So in the next tutorial, we shall study about biogas plant or gobar gas plant. We will look at its structure, its working, its advantages and limitations. Let's take a quick recap of today's video. पहले हमने देखा कि बायोमास क्या होता है. हमने देखा बायोमास में होती है केमिकल पोटेंशियल एनर्जी. देन हमने देखा बायोफ्यूल्स क्या होते हैं. हमने देखा बायोमास इज रिन्यूएबल सोर्स ऑफ एनर्जी एंड बायोमास एनर्जी इज अ फॉर्म ऑफ सोलर एनर्जी. देन हमने बात की डिफरेंट तरह के बायोमास की या बायोफ्यूल्स की, यानी कि वुड, और हमने देखा उसकी जगह हम चारकोल यूज कर सकते हैं. हमने बात की काउ डंग केक्स यानी गोबर की, और उसकी जगह हम यूज कर सकते हैं बायोगैस प्लांट या फिर गोबर गैस प्लांट. So that was all for today's video. Like, share and subscribe to our report. Also click on the bell icon to get the latest updates of the videos I am uploading. Bye and thanks for watching.